people say to me, oh, I have anxiety. And they talk about it like it's a bad thing. Like this anxiety demon has come into his life and ruined his life. You have anxiety over stupid shit. Keep your anxiety demon. And now have anxiety that you're not rich. Get to the point where you can't sit still and watch Netflix and eat ice cream because you are too anxious about the fact that you don't have $100 million. You might start doing some work. Oh, I have depression. Great. Fantastic. I'm glad you have depression because you won't feel depressed on a yacht with 20 supermodels, 300 million in the bank, and a Bugatti waiting for you in the marina. Then you won't feel depressed. So it's a good thing you have depression because you don't have those things. And now you have to get them to feel better. So get to work. I have OCD. You have OCD over dumb shit like arranging your Star Wars figurines. You should have OCD about getting your life in order, about being in the gym on time, about training harder than everyone around you, about getting some money in your bank. You don't have to get rid of these conditions. I would argue that Elon, the man who's putting rockets into space, probably has OCD. That's how he managed to get a rocket into space. And you're saying your OCD prevents you from fucking washing the dishes because you're a fuck up and you are a failure. I publicly state that I have anxiety. I have governments trying to kill me, getting thrown in and out of jail at random, all of my assets seized, 9 baby mamas, my Jesco's broken, my private jet was clicking on the way here making a strange noise. I know they're trying to kill me anyway. I have anxiety, but I use my anxiety so that I wake up at 6:15 a.m. instantly enraged, getting to work so I win. I grabbed the demon of anxiety by his fucking neck and added him to my legion. He works for me. You have dulled your sword, so you have nothing to threaten the demons with, because you're too busy sitting around in therapy like a little girl. When anxiety turns up, you cower with your little weak, dull sword. I pull my blade and say, you now work for me. By force. I have depression. I have OCD. I have all of it. These demons work for me. They are my army. That is how I've conquered the world. If you're at home complaining, I have OCD, I have anxiety, I have depression, you need to get these demons in check. They are your weapons against mediocrity. Therapists will never tell you that. A therapist will say, oh, we have to get rid of your anxiety. Just bend over, spread your butt cheeks. We're going to get rid of your anxiety. It's not a perfect world. It's a world of war and endless combat and chaos. My legion of darkness is made up of monsters because monsters fight monsters. I can only beat my enemies because of all my flaws. It's because of everything that's wrong with me. There's things wrong with me, supposedly, but all of those things work for me. And it seems that whenever I direct my chi at any task, even escaping the highest level matrix setup in the most corrupt country on the map, I somehow managed to pull it off. You think I got out of this Romanian bullshit situation with luck? You think I got out of it with law or I was lucky? I woke up 4 or 5 times a night. I could not sleep. When you wake up and you cannot sleep, you know what you do? You lay in bed and cry like a baby. The second I couldn't sleep, I was up, training, working, reading the Romanian law, learning a new language, the European Court of Human Rights, endless Aikido, new legal teams, new money, new ways to combat their narratives, fighting the BBC, preparing for interviews, endless sets, endless reps, anxiety, OCD, fucking depression, everything. That's how I won. Get out of therapy. You need to leave therapy immediately. There is nothing more destructive to the male psyche than sitting down and complaining and crying about your problems to somebody who has their own problems, which they do not even disclose to you. They sit there as if there's some godlike individual who doesn't have their own mistakes, aren't arguing with their own wife, don't have their own bills to pay. And you sit there trying to elicit sympathy, elicit understanding, automatic submission to some idiot with a piece of paper, a PhD he got from a bullshit university. Therapy in and of itself is destructive to your ability to take control over your own life. You are dulling your sword because you're complaining that your own sword might cut you. But it's your sword that cuts your enemies. You're denying who you are. You're denying all of the things that made you you. God gave you all of these difficult situations so that you could challenge yourself and you could find the best way to navigate them and stay sane. That is why God gave them to you. so that you can become a better version of yourself. And instead of learning lessons, instead of being thankful to God for the difficult things he's put you through, you instead go and cry to some human, fallible creature, complaining about how something happened 21 years ago. A therapist doesn't have a fucking time machine. And they don't try and make you feel better about what happened. They try and just justify your terrible reaction to said events. Because there's only one true human emotion that should come from negative scenario, which is anger. Someone can kill a member of your family and you can get sad or you can get angry. Angry gets something done. Sad? That's just sitting around hoping others feel sorry for you. Sad belongs in the therapy room. But anger belongs out here in the world. Directed anger, focused anger. I'm not saying you start smashing your head against the wall like an idiot. I'm saying that very much like a focused concentration of water through a dam can power a city. That is how your anger should work. You should focus it in the exact direction it needs to go to solve the problem. If you're poor, get angry. If you're woman left, get angry. Get angry at yourself for being left. Don't get angry at the world you're poor. Get angry at yourself because you can't afford all the things you want. Anger is the correct response to any emotion because anger elicits instant action. You know, I'm so anti-therapy and I've had these conversations so many times with people. Their answer is that I need therapy, supposedly. If I need therapy, how come every single person on the planet knows my name? How come every single time I walk in the room, they're like, Mr. Tate. And everyone starts going, TopG, and getting cameras out. How come I'm an international celebrity with hundreds of millions of fucking dollars? How come when I was thrown in jail and put in a Romanian dungeon for 4 months to stare at the wall, I came out perfectly fine and still destroyed the mainstream media in all of their setup interviews in a way you could never do? How come I'm so monumentally successful and my women never turned on me and all I do is win and you're telling me that I need therapy while you're in therapy and you're a nobody? Nobody even knows who you are. I don't need therapy. I self-therapize with anger because anger makes me brave. And my bravery has allowed me to grab demons by the neck.
Anger is a fantastic force. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch. I want a nicer house, and I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. Right now, you're watching it, and you look around you, and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If you're at a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man. Age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire in your 60s, not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. You need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them. Forced directed anger is an extremely powerful force. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. I wanted money like I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I'm not gonna live broke, get rich, or die trying. I understand that completely. I couldn't tolerate it. And I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape. It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still fail. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get. If I see a man and he's like, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink. Well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. The competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, if I'm awake, I'm working. I don't take a second off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me and you want to watch a movie tonight. All I'm trying to say is that the world, especially the masculine world, is one large, endless competition. If you want to win a game, you need to at least play it. You can pretend there's no competition, but then you're not going to win.
If you wake up and realize that the car you want, other men want, the house you want, other men want, the job you want, other men want. When you realize this, you're like, okay, now I know the competition. Let me go try and win. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster. You need to be more competitive. You need to try harder. You need to wake up earlier. You need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but it's not that simple because, the wife gets the kid, and you know what? And I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work, the way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. I told you how to take your business, painting and decorating, and make a serious amount of money, and now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay broke. They'll sit with a multimillionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn.
Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, they care about you. Yeah, sure. There may be 2 or 3 people on the planet genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, and go and buy you a Ferrari. You are never going to have any of the things that you want if you do not get them yourself.
So if someone's overweight, they chose to be overweight. If someone's broke, they chose to be broke. I believe everything in the world is a choice. People will argue with me when I say that. They say, no, I didn't choose to feel this way. And I'll argue back that believing everything is a choice empowers you to make the change. Trying to say that everything is not a choice removes your power and your authority and your responsibility and your capability. So I think the most powerful thing you can do if you're a depressed or sad person is accept that you have chosen to be one and you can choose to stop being one. But surely your mindset as a man, especially in the world today, should be the mindset which allows you to be most competitive and win. Forget truth. If I believe the sky is green, but it doubles my net worth, you can say the sky is blue all day long. I'm saying it's green. My net worth is doubled because of it. So what is truth? What even is true and false? All of history is a lie. Everything on the news is a lie. What even is true and false? True and false is adopting the mindset or the strategies which allow you to compete. That's what's true. It's like fighting. People say lucky punch. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. It landed and you threw it. That's a punch. So what is true? Well, for me, what is true is what allows me to feel most powerful. When I look at scenarios or situations, I sit and say, option A makes me feel weak and helpless, and option B makes me feel powerful. So I believe B to be true. And that's where my whole worldview comes from. The primary objective of my thoughts and feelings and reality is to win. It's not to feel happy. It's not on some garbage, endless quest for what might be true. It's to win all of the time. So I optimize for competitiveness and I optimize for performance in all things, which is very unpopular with a lot of people. Most people don't optimize for that. Most people optimize for the worst thing possible. You know, the worst possible mindset you can try and optimize your life for? Happiness. Happiness is for women and children. As a man, if you wake up and go, I want to be happy today, you're going to do unimportant, narcissistic, hedonistic garbage. Eat too much, drink too much, sit around and play video games, smoke weed. You're not going to achieve anything if you want to be happy. As a man, 99% of the time, you're going to be stressed or annoyed about something that's just happened, currently happening, or about to happen. That's life. We live constantly anxious. We have a lot of things to do. And you either suffer the consequence of the stress it requires to be a somebody, or you suffer the consequence of having no stress because you're a fucking nobody and you work in Starbucks and then you're a no one. So many men say to me, oh, how I don't feel happy. I'm like, so? You think I'm happy? I've got nearly $1 billion. I'm still stressed. I got criminal convictions, work to do. I was up at 6 a.m. I got to go here. I got to go there. I've got to train. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. At what point do you think you've earned the right to wake up as a man and feel happy? Losers have this problem with temporary motivation. A loser will come and say, I really want to change my life. I can't live like this anymore. And they'll mean what they say for about 2 days. And then they're happy to go back to being a loser again. And that's why they never escape. They never get the terminal velocity required to break free from the atmosphere of mediocrity. The reason it's so easy to win in the world today is because the majority of people are perfectly prepared to lose. You have to wake up and you have to give a shit. You have to wake up and go, you know what? I'm responsible for my health and I'm responsible for my finances and I'm responsible for my family and I'm responsible for the decisions I make and I'm responsible for my motivation and I'm going to win.